Now, who would this be?
Well, hopefully this is the Ethan you were waiting on there, Brad.
There you go.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, we had a little bit of time off, and now we're starting to get back into action. So got a lot of interviews to do and trying to promote this summertime tour. It's all good, Ethan.
Well, let me ask you real quick. A lot of people were concerned, but we've heard good word. Jack is doing better. He had a little medical thing, but he's doing all good right now, right?
Yeah, we had to take a little time off just to make sure he was up to par. And, he's out taking 45-minute hikes and stuff. So he's chomping at the bit. So it's going to be great.
If he's taking 45-minute hikes, then he's in way better shape than I am. That's for sure.
Yeah. In fact, when I get done with you, I'm going to go hiking myself.
Oh, well, awesome. Are you in Cali right now, or where are you going hiking?
Oh no, I was just joking, man. No, I keep fit. I like to swim a lot and I lift weights. It's all good, but I'm just this time off that we're taking here. Everybody's just kind of getting things done that we didn't get done. So I took a little vacation to Maui and working on my house and doing those things you do when you have time off. But as soon as this tour kicks in, we're going to be up and running for a couple months straight. So it's all good, The machine is going to be rolling again.
Now, I've seen you guys play before a few times, and you told a story at one of those shows about shortly after Randy Rhoads was gone, you filled in and you jumped on the stage with Ozzy for a run of the tour. And you tell this great story of Ozzy and shaving his head, and I want you to share that with everybody here.
Oh, well, I'll tell you, man, that was back in 1982 around summertime. We were touring through Texas and Louisiana, and we pulled into pretty, as I recall, it's 40 years ago, but yeah, that's right. We pulled into Dallas and had a couple days off, and Ozzy became missing. And, Sharon was calling around everybody's rooms and stuff saying, hey, have anybody seen Ozzy? Where's Ozzy? I can't find him. And everybody's like, no. And he ended up becoming MIA for a couple days and kind of freaked everybody out. And, of course, you could see how that could be quite a little craziness going on, especially in the middle of a tour. But he showed up the morning of our Dallas, Texas jam, it was, and he had shaved his head. And, we all got into getting into the show early. And saw Ozzy, and Cher's like, "Oh my God, we got to get you a wig." So we had the wardrobe lady go out and buy a couple different wigs to choose from, and got him this one long one that was, blondish, dark blonde, whatever, kind of his hair color, but of course he was bald. And we, set it up, and had I think Rudy came in because Rudy used to be a hairdresser back in. Before he, in Cuba, I guess, or whatever. Anyway, he ended up cutting his hair to look like Ozzy, look as the hair that he shaved. And, we were all talking, man, how are you going to do this? I mean, he goes, I don't know. I want to make it crazy. And so I said, why don't you put some like red spirit glue or whatever, ketchup, whatever on your scalp. And he does this thing on stage where he starts shaking and he grabs his shirt and he rips it, pulls it off his chest and throws it to the ground. And so the idea was to do his little shaking, rip his shirt off and then grab his scalp and slowly rip it off in front of 80,000 fans at the Cotton Bowl. So it's like, Ozzy, do it really slow, do it so it's believable. If he just rips it off, it doesn't look believable. But sure enough, he rips his shirt off and grabs his scalp and to the front and starts shaking and rips it off real slow. And the blood, the fake blood starts dripping down his face. And can you believe 80,000 people, mainly kids, mainly heavy metal rockers, between, 14 and 20, whatever, with their mouths wide open watching Ozzy rip off his scalp.
Wow.
And he took it off, ripped it off, threw it to the ground. He was sweating. You could see the blood, the fake blood running down his head and the sides of his scalp. And it was quite a moment there, Ethan. I tell you, man, it pretty much made an impression on the kids. Like, this guy can do anything.
Well, and that was
we were able.
I'm sorry, I was going to say that was the same year that he peed on the Alamo and bit the head off the bat on stage. That was almost the same tour, wasn't it?
No, he did. The whole the bad thing was before me, and Alamo was before me, and him going into the record company and biting the head off the dove, that was before me. So, basically what happened when I was on tour with him is, kids would come in, they would throw animals and dead animals and steaks and stuff up on stage, and it got to be a thing where one point with me, somebody threw a dead snake up on stage, and it kind of wrapped around Ozzy's neck.
Wow.
And he whoa, and he grabbed it and he threw it to the ground, and of course the snake was dead, but it was got to be a regular thing. Yeah. So Ozzy's like, no more animals on stage. I think, security people coming into the concerts, they were checking them more briskly around their bodies to make sure they weren't carrying any dead animals. But, it was quite a scene back then. And those were the times where in the 80s where it was crazy. It was the decade of decadence. It was like just so much crazy stuff happened back then. And, if they were to have cell phones back then, I'm sure a lot of people have a lot more, footage and photos of crazy stuff that happened, especially on my tour. But basically, I did it for 6-7 months. And then, we were able to, Night Ranger was trying to get a record deal. We'd finished the demo. We were trying to get that shopping and get a deal. And we went in and recorded Speak of the Devil right around September-ish, 1982. Went in 2 nights and recorded all the old Black Sabbath material for the live record Speak of the Devil. And right after that, it was such a crazy time. It was so heavy for everybody in the band because, that untimely tragic death of Randy Rhoads and the band having to go out with somebody new like me. It was weird for everybody, a lot of pressure. And towards the end, Rudy decided to leave Ozzy and go with Quiet Riot because they had gotten a record deal, which was huge for them because they came out with such a big bang with all their big hits. And Night Ranger, we had got a record deal with the, if I were to jump back into the band with the fame I was gaining with Ozzy, that, we were going to get signed with Night Ranger too. So Rudy left and I left. The cool thing was, Ethan, right around the middle of October, we got the record deal with Night Ranger, and we were released Dawn Patrol, Night Ranger's first record, and Speak of the Devil, the record I did with Ozzy. They were both released in the same week of late October, as I recall. And you remember Album Network, the trade magazine, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
That? Well, I ended up getting the 2 picks of the week with Speak of the Devil and Dawn Patrol at the bottom of the first page of Album Network that went out to all the radio stations. So I had 2 records that came out that same week, and they both did very well. I mean, both went platinum, and even more with Dawn Patrol. But and then I went on as soon as getting back with Night Ranger, January the next year or whenever it was, '83. We went out and opening for Kiss and all these big tours. And so I was, just kept it going, man. And, all through the 80s, we were doing 200, 250 shows a year and kicked ass with Night Ranger.
Absolutely, you did. In fact, the first single, Don't Tell Me You Love Me, is still a hit played today. And so you say that your time with Ozzy probably helped Night Ranger's success, too. Was it because... I'm going back to when I was just hearing, the Night Ranger songs and Ozzy coming out, and Night Ranger was a little poppier, more publicly available. Ozzy was still kind of dark and heavy and all that stuff, especially growing up in West Texas, a small conservative town. People are like, Ozzy is the devil music, but Night Ranger is perfectly fine. So did you see a big crossover of Ozzy fans and Night Ranger fans kind of going to the same shows or possibly going to at least see you play?
Yeah, I mean, it was great because we came out with such a bang with a heavy rock song like Don't Tell Me You Love Me. And at that time, you weren't getting a lot of airplay with heavy rock songs with dual guitar solos and harmonies. And, of course, you had your Thin Lizzies and, you know, the Allman Brothers and everybody coming out with, you know, a lot of dual harmony stuff. But, you know, Don't Tell Me Love Me was pretty heavy, but radio embraced it, a huge hit for us. And you got to realize, Ethan, that's right when MTV came out. And it was so huge for everybody because it not only did it promote all these bands coming out in 83, but it put faces to the music, you know. And right then when MTV did start, you know, we gave them the video for Don't Tell Me Love Me, but they didn't have enough content for their 24/7 format. So basically they were playing us literally 20 times a day just to fill their musical spots for MTV. And really helped out the band a lot. You know, we went right to Japan. They loved us over there. And it just really helped, MTV really helped the band jump into the forefront with, you know, putting a face to the band. So we ended up doing a bunch of in-stores and record signings and stuff. And wherever town we go in, just bopping around town, people would recognize us. And it was a very cool thing. So MTV helped out a lot. But, you know, I just got to say one thing. I mean, you know, Ozzy's been through 5-6 guitar players in the past 40 years. And you know, and here I am 40 years. It's our 40-year anniversary, we're calling it, because we didn't really start kicking in until 83. That I'm still with the same band, and we could probably be doing like 75 shows this year.
Yeah, you guys are just trucking right along. I mean, it's really cool that everybody knows music can be cyclical, with the sounds of a certain decade coming back 30, 40 years later. And I think the 80s sound is making such a resurgence that bands like yours are still super popular and always have been. I mean, there was that drop maybe during the grunge era where 80s pop and rock wasn't as hot, but it stuck around and it's coming back around. And it's great to see bands just like Night Ranger back out on the road or still out on the road with Poison and doing stuff like the Party Gras. So it's awesome to have you guys still out playing.
Yeah, and I got to tell you one thing, Ethan. Putting together 3 or 4 bands from the 80s, you end up doing great numbers around the country. And, you know, actually, 2011, it was Journey, Foreigner, Night Ranger. We did like 65 shows in the States and in Europe. And I think the lowest attendance for those shows was about 12,000. And the most we did was in Chicago at 23,000. So, and that's 2011. And since then, you know, we're out with everybody, REO Speedwagons and Styx and the Foreigners and everybody. And we're still doing a bunch of shows with these guys this year. And, of course, we're doing Summerfest and a bunch of other festivals around the country. So people want to see classic rock. They want to relive those old memories. You know what I mean? Usually their kids are growing up and they're able to get out of the house and relive those memories of the 80s, you know? So it's working.
Now, for Party Gras with Bret Michaels, this is, I guess, his brainchild. Did he reach out to you guys directly, or was it like a management thing going, we should put these guys on the tour together?
Oh, no, he reached out with us directly, wanted to know if we were interested, and we cut the deal, worked it out. He said, well, I'm going to make this thing a party. And, you know, and he grabbed, you know, Sugar Ray and Steve O'Jerry. And Steve used to sing for Journey for a bit after Steve Perry and before Arnell. So we got him coming out and Jefferson Starship pretty much opening this show. But what he wants to do is, I think it's going to be, you know, Starship opens, then we play, and then he starts doing his set, and he gets Steve O'Jerry to come up and do a couple Journey tunes, and gets Sugar Ray to do a couple of his hits, and then we jump on stage and do a couple more songs to make it kind of like a party jam at the end of the night. So it's going to be fun, man. And what I like about Bret, he's such a great guy, nicest guy in the world. He just wants to make it fun for everybody, make it easy, make it a party for the audience. So I think the whole Party Gras thing, I think it's going to be awesome, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got lucky enough to interview Bret up in Sturgis at the Full Throttle, the 75th anniversary of Sturgis. He really is one of the nicest guys out there and just a genuinely good dude. And so it's good to see him still out rocking. And I saw him on the stadium tour, and they pulled it out live. So it's going to be cool to have you guys hopefully all kind of collaborating on stage for a couple things.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do, but everybody's game. And, like I said, he's going to make it a party, and that's how a concert should be. Instead of one band, another band, the headliner, and everything's a lot of these tours, it gets pretty pretty sterile. But he wants everybody to get together and jam and have fun and make it a party. So we're trying to figure out what songs to do at the end of the night. But I think it's going to be a fun bill. Hopefully, we'll do great numbers and we have a lot of other shows on our own, a lot of festivals we're doing, but this one we're looking forward to because it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday every weekend for like a month and a half, and then we got shows in between here and there, or whatever. But it's just good to be back on a larger tour like that with the old tour buses and everything, and on the road. It's something. It's we're still living the dream there, Ethan. You know what I mean? 40 years later, to still be able to go out on tour and tour buses and big numbers and play rock and roll.
And the good thing is that, there's always drama in bands that have been along and together for so long. Like, obviously, there's some bands out touring right now, and people aren't getting along, not naming any names, Ernie. But you guys are still friends, and you can tell there's still just a great camaraderie in everybody on Night Ranger just playing together and having fun as friends on stage.
Yeah, doing this 40 years, you want to make sure you get the best crew and the best people around you that have that positive attitude and that work hard and make the shows happen. And, this time off that we've had with Jack being down, it was a good thing that we took this little break. We had to cancel about 5 shows, but it's all for the better. And, our crew all got together where our equipment was. We redid everything. They redid everything to make sure it was, up to par and took care of issues that were going on, this and that, whatever, and just got a call from our road manager the other day telling me how great everything was going and how everybody's ready to move and how our equipment is at 100% right now. So, you want things, when you're on tour, you want things smooth, and you don't want any issues. So we're looking forward to, actually, we're starting up here in a couple of weeks. We got a couple shows. I think we're playing with Foreigner. And then the week after, we're playing the Temecula Balloon Festival down in Southern California with REO Speedwagon. We already started off with a bang. We went to Puerto Rico, had a couple days off, and played with REO Speedwagon. That was a blast, man. We had like 8,000 or 9,000 people, and they had a huge 100-foot LED screen for the backdrop, and we were able. Our lighting guy is Steve Coker, man. He came up with all these great lighting plots for the LED screens, and he's showing videos from us back in MTV. When you close your eyes, you've got the video of us in the background playing that syncs up to when we're playing live, just to show the old memories of Night Ranger and the MTV video. So, we're trying to up our game and stay relevant and draw out numbers, get people out and to have a good time, man. So the machines are rolling on, like I was saying.
Well, 2 things before I let you go. I know you're a very busy guy. 2 things about Party Gras. I know Mark McGrath, I think he's supposed to be acting as sort of like MC and Master of Ceremonies, kind of a host of the show, or is he just coming out doing Sugar Ray stuff?
I have no idea the details on that. I just know he's coming up and doing a couple Sugar Ray tunes, and I pretty much, I think they're, not bringing Steve O'Jerry's band or Sugar Ray's band. They're sitting in with Bret's band
to
do these couple songs a piece. So, and then they do their thing, and then we get up, probably Jack and me, and I don't know who else is going to get up, and just do a couple fun little tunes at the end of the night. We're still trying to figure all that out. But,
I would like to volunteer for as a host or MC. If you need one when you guys get to town, you just let me know. I'll jump up stage and I'll be Master of Ceremonies and help keep the party going all night long. I'm just volunteering if you need that.
Well, Ethan, as long as you can sing and play guitar and know some of these songs we're going to do, because if you're going to get up on stage, you're going to be jamming with us, my friend.
I actually can do that. Not that you'd want it, but I could. One last thing before... Go ahead.
We're looking forward to coming out there, man. We're looking forward. It's going to be a blast, and the Credit Union Amphitheater. Did that used to be named something else? Mid Florida Credit Union Amphitheater.
Yeah, that's the name of it now. Or for short, the Tampa Amp is what most people call it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted to let you know, if you guys are trying to do some like collabs with the bands together, I was thinking about it in my head, and it popped in that both Don't Tell Me You Love Me and Poison's Fallen Angel are in F sharp. I think Don't Tell Me You Love Me is F sharp minor, but Fallen Angel is in F sharp, and the BPMs are pretty close. So if you were looking to mash up two songs together, I just throw that out. Maybe those two might be a fit, something to look forward to. I don't know.
Well, there you go. The thing is, we're going to do our set the way we do it, and then do something else for the jam at the end of the night. Yeah. I mean, we have our set that we do, and we do it well, so we're going to stay with that and then figure out what Bret wants to do at the end of the night. And we're going to do, like an old standard cover thing that's probably not either of our songs for this jam thing. You know what I mean? A couple other classic hits that we're going to jam on. There was a couple songs mentioned, but I don't want to give anything away because who knows, and it may change every night. But, it's pretty much up to Bret what he wants to do. And we're all, we just get up there and jam along and have a good time,
And surprises are always more fun, especially in a huge live concert like that. It's always fun to be like, oh, I can't believe they did that, and everybody tells their friends.
Exactly. So hopefully we'll get some big numbers, a lot of people out there. It's summertime. The good thing about it, Ethan, is everything's opening up, with COVID being gone now. And I'm sure people are just chomping at the bit to get out and see live concerts. So hopefully this will be the big one. We'll bring back normal numbers. And, we'll do 10,000 a night. That'll be a beautiful thing.
Brad Gillis from Night Ranger, thank you so much for taking the time, my friend. I cannot wait to see you again on stage. And have a great one. Have a great beginning of your tour. We'll see you in August.
Thank you, Ethan. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Yes, sir, my friend.
Take care.